The show begins with Jeong Muki, a first-year student strolling through her university campus with enthusiasm for the new chapter of her life. Unbeknownst to others, her main motive for choosing this particular university was her desire to be close to her high school crush, Gwa. However, her excitement is shortly lived after she discovers that Gwa's name is absent from the university's enrollment list, much to her dismay. To loosen up, Jeong goes to the basketball court and watches the boys play. All of a sudden, she is hit on the head by a basketball, and to her shock, the culprit is none other than Gwa. It's revealed that he's studying at the same university after all, but for some reason, he has changed his name to Gwa Jinan. The following day, Jeong goes to the basketball court hoping to bump into Gwa again, but unfortunately, he doesn't show up. Disappointed, she goes to the library and daydreams about him. Lo and behold, Gwa arrives there and walks up to her. Her heart starts beating faster as he talks to her and almost skips a beat when he asks her out to dinner that night. Jeong assumes that it's a date and goes to the restaurant looking her best. However, she is disappointed when she finds out that Gwa has invited 2 of his friends to dinner as well. They sit for dinner and delicious dishes arrive on the table, but Jeong refrains from eating as she is too shy to do so in front of her crush and his friends. However, she eventually caves to the temptation. Once Gwa gets up and heads to the bathroom, she quickly steals a skewer from the plate and goes outside to eat it, pretending to make a phone call. However, Gwa catches her munching on the skewer and can't help but laugh. Afterwards, the two enter a grocery store where Gwa buys a lot of sweets and candy for himself, but later, when he drops her off at home, he gives Jeong the entire bag of treats. She is flattered by this gesture and tries to ask for his socials, but he leaves before she has the chance to. So the next day, Jeong attends Gwa's class to ask him for his contact information, but before she could do so, the professor arrives and she is instead stuck inside the classroom. To make matters worse, the teacher asks her a question, but she is unable to answer. Fortunately, Gwa stands up and answers the question for her. After the class, he approaches Jeong and asks if she is also studying the same subject. Embarrassed to admit the truth, Jeong lies that she is actually interested in the course that he is studying. She then musters the courage to finally ask him for his social media. To her joy, Gwa instead gives her his phone number. The same night in her dormitory, Jeong begins to stalk Gwa via his social media and finds out about his various interests. She also sees his online status and finds out that he is at the library. She immediately buys a cup of coffee for him and waits outside the library. Once he arrives, she pretends to bump coincidentally into him, stating that she was just passing by, and offers him the coffee. However, he politely declines the drink, stating that he won't be able to sleep at night after having coffee. This makes Jeong feel awkward and she prepares to leave, but Gwa stops her and offers to walk her back to her room, much to her delight. As they walk back, Jeong realizes that she is also interested in astronomy like him. This piques Gwa's interest and he smiles before taking her to a rooftop to stargaze. There, Jeong starts daydreaming about making out with him. Gwa then slowly reaches his hand towards her face, prompting her to close her eyes as she assumes that he's going to kiss her. However, he gives Jeong a light slap to kill the mosquito sitting on her face. The latter pretends to act normal again, and the two spend time watching and pointing to different stars. Shortly after, one of Gwa's friends interrupts them, asking something about their group project. This reminds Gwa that their project is in need of a photographer, so he asks Jeong to take pictures for them. It's revealed that she is studying to be a journalist, so Gwa assumes that she has classes in photography. In reality, Jeong doesn't have any previous experience with photography, but she accepts the offer just so she can stay close to him. Later that night, Jeong asks her roommate Lu Yuan for advice on how to win over a guy. It's revealed that the latter is the most popular girl in school and a love expert. Over the course of the next few days, Jeong, Gwa, and his friends work on the project and give a successful presentation. Later, Gwa and his friends celebrate the completion of the project with Jeong. At the party, she tries to get drunk, hoping Gwa will take her home. As the hours pass, he begins to get concerned about Jeong and stops her from drinking. This frustrates his friends, and they start to complain about how he is ruining the fun. Gwa then proposes that all of them chug a beer straight from the bottle. But once the guys do it, Gwa quickly grabs Jeong, and they flee the scene. He walks her back to her dorm, but upon arriving, she finds that the doors are locked. This makes Jeong happy as she gets to spend more time with Gwa. They share a cute moment where they both smile at each other lovingly. Unfortunately, they are interrupted by the dorm lady who opens the door, prompting Gua to leave. Shortly after, Jiang gets wind that her roommate Lu might have a crush on Gua. As she follows Lu around campus, she's surprised to stumble upon her with Gua, looking incredibly close. Fueled by envy, she shadows them for the rest of the day, observing their every interaction. While having lunch at the cafeteria, Jiang fails to notice that one of Gua's friends, Yu, has caught her in the act of stalking. But in a shocking turn of events, he too joins in on the stalking. This is because he has a crush on Lu. Shortly after, they are caught red-handed, and so Yu immediately runs away. As for Jiang, Gua confronts her and innocently punishes her by naming an animal after her. In the next scene, as they return to their rooms, Jiang asks him if he has a date for the school prom. To her surprise, Gua says no and asks her to go. Excited, Jiang accepts without hesitation. On the day of the prom, Jiang gets ready and puts on her dress as well as makeup. However, just as she is about to leave, her roommate reminds her that she needs to return all her books she borrowed from the library by 6 o'clock. And if she fails to do so, her school credit will go down. Hearing this, Jiang hurries to the library with the books, but there she learns that one of the books is missing. She then recalls leaving the book on the rooftop of their university building when she was trying to impress Gua. Jiang runs there and luckily finds the book. However, the building's security guard unknowingly locks the door, and as a result, Jiang gets stuck on the roof. Meanwhile, the school prom commences and Gua is sad to see that Jiang is absent, but when he checks his phone, he learns that she's actually in trouble, so he immediately rushes to help her. When he reaches the rooftop, he finds a very sad Jiang, upset that she not only failed to attend the prom, but also that her school credit has gone down. To cheer her up, he plays a song on her phone and invites her to dance on the rooftop. Gua then compliments Jiang and puts a smile on her face, but soon he adds that he only likes her as a friend, much to her dismay. The next day, the two attend the photography class and he sits beside her. Jiang, however, is still upset about being friend-zoned. Meanwhile, the class teacher assigns everyone a group project, and Gua asks her to be his partner. Despite being sad, she immediately agrees, because she still wants to impress him. After a while, the project begins and they go on a day trip, where Jiang brings a double bag packed full of drinks and food, and also her camera. After the filming for the project is complete, the two sit in a field and have a however, moments later, their picnic is unfortunately spoiled when it starts to rain. They quickly seek shelter near a greenhouse, and Gua gives her his jacket. He also romantically wipes her face with a napkin. Jiang blushes, and they have a romantic and intimate moment. That is, until the rain suddenly stops, much to Jiang's disappointment. Later that night, Gua leaves the video editing part to Jiang, thinking that she is good at it. She accepts without hesitation, but soon remembers that her editing classes do not start until next semester. So, she turns to a senior for help. Fortunately, he agrees to help, but on the condition that Jiang must star in a romantic piece, and must find a handsome boy to co-star with her. Naturally, she asks Gua to be her partner, and he easily agrees. The following day, the two head to the set of the film, and the shooting begins. They have a lot of fun and joke around with each other. However, all the fun comes crashing down when Lu arrives and demands to replace Jiang as Gua's on-screen lover. The film's director jumps at the opportunity to have the university's most popular girl in his film, so he replaces Jiang on the spot. Our protagonist is upset that she can't do anything about it, because the film's director senior is helping her edit her project. However, Gua is upset with the decision, and he quits the film. When the senior catches wind of this, he realizes his mistake and immediately takes Jiang back on board. Later during lunch, Jiang is approached by Lu, who tells her he plans to go on a picnic with Gua. He invites Jiang and Lu to join them as well, saying the more the merrier. This is music to Jiang's ear, and she happily accepts the invitation. The scene then cuts to the day of the picnic, and the four of them sit in the park while having some snack. Later, Yu comes up with a plan to make Lu jealous by cozying up with Jiang. So, he and Jiang go fly a kite, but it is clear that the latter has no interest in. Instead, it is Gua and Jiang who become jealous, as they are each with other people. Gua also finds out that Yu and Jiang were with each other at lunch the other day, further fueling his jealousy. Their double date is ruined, but before heading home, Yu proposes that they play a game of Never Have I Ever. As they play the game, on Gua's turn, he confesses that there is someone he likes among them, raising both Lu and Jiang's curiosity. The same night, Jiang has trouble sleeping as she can't seem to figure out who Gua likes. The next day at school, she boldly asks him about it, but he gives her the cold shoulder. It turns out that he's still upset about yesterday, and refuses to talk to Jiang. However, she doesn't give up, and accompanies Gua to the library with the hopes of convincing him to go have dinner with her. But after a harsh response, a heartbroken Jiang runs out into the rain, thinking that he has feelings for Lu instead. Suddenly, an umbrella appears above her, and it's revealed to be Gua. He gives her his jacket and hugs her, before inviting her to dinner with him. Hearing this, an excited Jiang heads back to her dorm room to change. But her happiness quickly fades away when Lu approaches her and reveals that she's going to confess her feelings to Gua tomorrow. The following day, a scared Jiang decides to cling on to Gua to keep Lu from confessing her feelings. So throughout the day, she drags him across town, constantly keeping an eye out for Lu. The two spend quality time with each other, and return to the university campus very late. But upon returning, they are confronted by Lu. She takes Jiang aside and says that she will continue pursuing Gua. This makes her protagonist feel awkward, and she decides to leave. However, she trips and falls on the floor, breaking her leg. Seeing this, Gua becomes worried and rushes her to the nearest hospital. And after she is discharged, they decide to spend the night at a hotel, as it's way past the campus curfew time. Meanwhile, Jiang again contemplates all the things that could be happening between the two. She sleeps with Gua, and in the morning, he shockingly kisses her. However, it all turns out to be a dream. In reality, Gua had actually dropped her off inside the hotel room before heading home. The following day, Gua takes extra care of Jiang, even to the point of carrying her up the stairs and preparing food for her. He also helps her complete her classwork. Jiang is flattered by his actions, and at night, she wonders whether Gua likes her, and if he does, why hasn't he confessed yet? The next morning, Gua takes her shopping for clothes. They also go out for lunch, and it is there that Jiang meets one of her friends from school. The friend is shocked to see Gua and Jiang together, and assumes that they are dating. The latter corrects her by stating that they are just friends. But unfortunately, this upsets Gua, and he leaves the restaurant, refusing to talk to Jiang. When she continues to run after him, he tells her to leave him alone, stating that they are just friends. This comment upsets her, because he is the one who's been sending mixed signals this entire time. In a fit of rage, Jiang calls Gua out for taking pride in making her like him and playing with her all this time, without confessing his true feelings. Before walking off, Jiang reveals that she liked him since high school, and says that he is now not worthy of her love. This brings Gua to tears, and they go their separate ways. From then on, Jiang starts to ignore Gua, fearing that he will break her heart again. When Liu learns about their fight, she tries to comfort her. The next morning, Liu confronts Gua and lectures him on how he should be brave to confess his feelings to the person he likes. She informs him that Jiang is madly in love with him, but is currently suffering because of his actions. So, feeling bad, he texts Jiang to wait for him at the library, while he goes and buys lunch for her. However, upon meeting her in the stairs, she begs Gua to stop messing around with her, as lunch is not what she needs. In response, he says they shouldn't be friends, but before he can complete his sentence, a heartbroken Jiang leaves. Meanwhile, Yu constantly pesters Liu with things that she likes, in an attempt to win her over. However, she couldn't care less. One day, Yu finally proposes to her, but he is brutally rejected. She tells him that she needs a partner in life, and doesn't need a person who constantly pesters her. It's also revealed that she's going to study abroad, making Yu hopeless and upset. On the day of Jiang's birthday, Gua calls her to the rooftop of the university, where she finds a surprise event planned for her. He emerges out of the shadows with a cake, and wishes her a happy birthday. Gua finally confesses his feelings to Jiang, much to her astonishment. He then reveals that he has also had a crush on Jiang since high school, but he couldn't bring himself to talk to her, fearing what his friends and teachers might say. He asks her to be his girlfriend, and Jiang tearfully accepts his proposal. The two then share an emotional kiss, and officially start dating. The series fast forwards a month later, where Gua and Jiang send off Liu, as she is going to study abroad for a year. However, just as the bus is about to leave, Yu comes running towards it, and boards the bus, revealing that he too is going abroad. He tells Liu that he had spent a month holed up in his room, preparing for the test to be eligible to go overseas, so that he could join her. Upon hearing this, Liu blushes for the first time, and they bid a farewell to Gua and Jiang.